one.
Wow.
Hello.
What?
Hello.
Wow. Banana. Oh, I can't wave my arms around.
Down, 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 down.
Welcome.
Welcome to Noah and Jordan's Copycat Show for friends only. If you're not friends with us, please stop watching the show immediately.
We've got some serious Daffy business to get into.
Yeah, there's lots of Daffy business to get up to. And we will be your guides. We will be your amateur guides through Ikoria, Lair of the Behemoths. So I don't know. Is there something you want to say, or should we just get right into it?
I think we just jump right in. So we're starting off with white cards.
We have to talk about our rating system.
Why? I think it's pretty intuitive.
I think there needs to be some explanation of our rating system. I'm just going to go ahead. We'll share it for the people. We'll just give them a taste of what our rating system is. We'll just give them a glimpse just so they can understand what's going on.
Okay.
So do you see this here?
No, it's covered up, but yeah, basically.
What's covered up? Do you see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, so here's basically our rating system. It goes from Dinky to Daffy. Dinky being something we almost never want to play. Daffy being something that is an absolute bomb. I don't know. Anything more to say on that?
Yeah, so just to be clear, this is fully a limited resources ripoff. We're only talking about Unlimited, and we're just like trying to record our first impressions of these cards because we thought that would be fun to have this to look back on. Are we right about what's Dinky? Are we correct about what's Daffy? Does the dandy and dopey stuff in the middle hold up? Do we miss anything? Do we catch what turns out to be daddy early? Dumpy and dirty as well. Okay.
Okay, cool. So let's hop into it.
Yep.
All right. So let's start with Blade Banish. It's 3 and a white for an instant. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Seems good.
Removal, always pretty strong. Triumphant Surge existed in Theros, which is an identical card, I believe. I think from very, very first impressions of Ikoria that it'll be better in this set. It seems to really be encouraging you to do like the Megatron build one creature huge rather than I'm sure there are ways to like go wide and stuff, but it just like encourages making that big, powerful mutant creature.
Yes.
So I gave Blade Banish a dandy.
I gave it a dandy also. It seems very easy to 2-for-1 with it as well. One of the few white removal cards. I don't think we have a lot.
There isn't one I saw that getting ahead of ourselves that I liked even more than this one.
All right, dandy. We like it. Keep your eyes out for Blade Banish.
You're recording these?
I'm recording these.
Cool.
Next up, we have Checkpoint Officer, the dick measurer. At
Penis inspection day.
The penis inspection guy.
I think it's pretty reasonable. Like, if you're gonna come to his town, you're passing through this guy's checkpoint. He's gonna have to just like inspect. You don't want people coming into the city with like an inappropriate penis. And I think there's nothing personal, there's nothing sexual about it. Because like growing up, when you have penis inspection day in school, there's nothing like you never pop a boner.
Yeah. No.
It's
Everyone
clinical.
remembers penis inspection day. You got 2 guys in there. They come and make you drop trow and whip out their penis inspectors, which, if as we all remember, look exactly like this.
Yeah. It's rougher for if you're uncircumcised because they bring someone else in to peel things back. It's just like, eesh. I can't imagine. But
Yeah.
yeah, I gave this guy a dandy.
You gave him a dandy.
Hmm.
I gave him a dopey.
So
Um,
I suspected that. I'm leaning dandy minus. The reason I would even go so far as to dopey plus if you were so inclined. The reason why I was thinking that is similar to why I think Blade Banish is stronger here. Is that being able to just functionally every turn if you wanted to, like this is if they have one giant creature, this is removal.
sure.
So
I like it.
I like it.
I like dopey plus.
Dopey
I
plus
think
some.
it feels right to me just because it's so nothing by itself.
No dandy minus. It's just like if you're
All
running a
right,
control deck, if you're running white black or white blue control, I just think you want as many of these as you pick up.
I'll give it a dandy minus.
Okay.
All right. Coordinated charge. This is 4 and a planes for an instant. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Cycling 2. To me, this card almost reads as 5 mana cycling 2. It seems like the type of card I'm not gonna play. I wouldn't want to play. Like I would almost always cycle it. And I give it a dumpy.
Okay. I gave it a dopey. Partly because I until proven otherwise, I think cycling is busted, especially on an instant. Um, so I think I really don't know the archetypes, but like I could imagine red white like tokens wanting this. It's just so easy to throw in. Like if you compare it to like Phalanx tactics, which I think is playable in Theros, I think this is better because of cycling. There's also all that stuff that benefits from cycling.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know how bought into that I am.
right.
The
It's a
cycling
cop out,
synergy. Yeah.
for sure. But I just like that's kind of the just like from looking at the archetypes. That's or like keywords. That's the one that I bought into right away because
Cycling.
I
Well,
know.
cycling is powerful, but it's just like I can just rarely imagine being particularly happy about like casting this card.
It's a game winner. Like you only cast it if it's going to win you the game. Like
And
it's
then
just
you just cycle it other. It just feels like a card you cut.
yeah, that dopey minus, dumpy plus.
I'll give it a dopey minus. Because I feel like so confused. It feels very expensive as
Yeah,
well.
it's
No, this is dumpy. This card's dumpy.
give it a dumpy plus. You
I'm
think
giving it dumpy plus.
okay.
Okay.
I just
Next
think
up.
it can win you the game. Like it's just it can read deal 10 damage to their face. If you've got five
It
of
doesn't
them,
even give him trample. Like
but it's an instant. Nothing would do
it's
that.
5 mana. I don't know.
I know. I think dumpy plus is fair.
All right. Armor's cool though. +1 for armor.
Yeah.
For gem armor. All right. Next up is the Cub Warden.
First rare.
This is 3 in a plane. It's our first rare. Pretty cool art. It's got some cute cubs in the background.
Oh, they are cute.
It has a mutate for 2 and 2 planes. It's a 3/5 lifelink, and whenever it mutates, it creates 2/1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. So what do you think about this guy?
I gave it a dirty.
Whoa!
I know that's pretty intense. 4 for a 3/5 lifelink is kind of nothing. I think that's playable, but whatever. But I think this is kind of a bomb in a mutate centric deck, because every time it mutates, it gives you more targets for mutate. Like it seems like more good targets for mutate too, because they They come at you got these babies with lifelink. It's just like I think it's really good token generation potentially.
Yeah, here's the thing about mutate though, which I'm not fully bought in, and we're only doing 2 colors here, so I don't know the extent of mutate. But for the most part, it feels like there aren't that many mutate cards.
No,
like
especially at common.
Yeah, so it's the type of thing where like potentially we may be like putting too much like emphasis on mutate and like how big of an effect it's going to have on the meta in general, or like how much people are going to be playing it, how good it's going to be.
Shut up.
I put this guy. That's right. That's right. I put this guy at Dandy. I think it's a good creature. I think pulling this pick one pack one, like it doesn't feel like a sure thing you choose this card.
I don't know, man. Like so you're playing it in, even if it's your only mutate card, dropping it on something that has evasion or I don't know, indestructible or vigilance, like you're just already, it's a good aura. Like if it just was an aura that's 4 mana, give the creature +3/+5 lifelink and create 2 1/1 tokens with lifelink, that would be a really strong aura.
Now I don't know if I understand this correctly. Does mutate? It doesn't add stats, does it?
Oh, oop. It doesn't? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, okay. Dandy plus.
All right, we'll see about that. I mean, we have in the history that I have it as Dandy.
Yeah.
But we can leave it as Dandy plus.
I think
it's only fair. It's only fair. You rated.
History will show. History will show.
History will show. I mean, it's a rare. It's just like not going to come up that much.
History will show.
History will show. All right. Next up is the Day Squad Marshal. This is 3 in a plains for a human creature, 3/3. When Day Squad Marshal enters battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. So it's 4 mana for a 3/3 and a 1/1.
This card in a way makes me sick, and it seems like a kind of a nerd.
His sword is epic though.
I doubt he can pick it up.
It seems like he can't actually.
Yeah.
He just stands there.
Well, that actually is kind of compelling. I got Dopey. I want to give it Dopey minus.
Dopey minus is fine. I mean, it's 4 mana for 4/4 stats.
Boring.
It's boring. I don't know. We can give it Dopey minus. I don't give a shit.
Would you have it at?
I had it at Dopey.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Divine Arrow. This is 1 in a plains for an instant. Divine Arrow deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Seems good. I had this at Dandy. I think it's pretty good.
Dirty.
This is a high pick for you.
Creatures regularly attack and block. 4 damage is a ton. Like it really crosses the threshold with 4 for me. Again, don't know the set yet. Don't actually know how many creatures that makes a difference on, but usually that's a big deal. Hitting 4, that's what like begins to constitute a fat ass.
Sure.
And so cheap. I think the restriction isn't really much of a restriction.
No. I think it's a great card.
Yeah.
You can force it to happen on your turn. You can force it to happen, or it can happen on their turn. I guess the other premium white removal that we're seeing here so far.
Yeah.
So I put it down as dirty.
Okay, cool. I like it.
This card's dirty. He's standing in the mud.
Yeah, it's a filthy card. You see him, he's blasting that guy's dick off. It's fucked up.
All right, you want to read this guy?
Yeah, sure. Dranic Healer. 1 in white for a 2/2. Whenever you cycle another card, you gain 1 life. Cycling 1. I love this card. It's fucking like he just shows up. He does what he needs to do. The biggest thing is Grizzly Bears is fine. And I fucking like I love cycling. It's so strong. So I think that a cycling-ish deck probably does have legs. I think you don't have to have your whole deck be cycling for this to read like 2 for a 2/2 heal 2 that still has cycling 1. And like cycling 1
Sure.
colorless is really easy. Stuff with 3 like I'm really just trying to sell you on cycling being good. But so like all of
I'll be sold it. I mean, I think this card, this is an above average 2-drop
yeah.
common. This is like if you're running a 2-drop common, like you don't mind playing this guy in turn 2, and if you pick him up later in the game, you get to throw him out.
Yeah,
like that's pretty fucking good.
Just another point for cycling is there's kind of a bunch of support for 3-colored decks, and I think cycling is huge in 3-color decks because a lot of them have colorless activation cost, and it lets you just like ditch cards you can't play. Really helps with mana picks and stuff. So I gave this guy. Oh, well, that's wrong. I said dopey, but I want to give him a dandy, like dandy minus.
I gave him dopey also.
Dopey plus?
Here's the thing. We can give him dopey plus. Like the thing is, he still is just a 2-mana 2/2.
Yeah.
Like there are potentially better 2-drops at common in white.
Are there?
This is like a card you don't mind playing, but he doesn't really get you anything. Like this is the top. This is like the front end of like, yeah. I mean, like this. I'm fine playing this card.
Yes.
So I think putting him in dandy is wrong.
I agree. You've convinced me.
And I can be okay with dopey plus.
I like dopey plus.
It's potentially a little high.
Well, shut up.
I'm just hedging, so I.
It's just it's not fair what you're doing. Next card.
All right, the Dranith Magistrate. This is 1 in a plane for a 1/3. Your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. This card feels bad. I'm not particularly interested in this card at all.
Yes, it's for constructed.
Yeah.
It shuts down companions and it shuts down escape, and it shuts down adventure. So like there's all these different like past things it does. Companions aren't going to be relevant in draft at all. Yeah, this guy's a fucking dump truck. He's dumpy as hell.
Yeah, dumpy. I had him at dopey, but I think that's wrong.
He's a dump artist.
Yeah, his stats are pretty bad. I mean, his stats are okay, but
he's a full plot. That guy's full plot.
Yeah, I mean, if you open this rare, like you're pretty fucking pissed off.
Yeah, I'm just imagining that situation. I'm like seeing red.
You're seeing white is what you're seeing. You're seeing these gold hands.
Ugh. Fuck his gold hands.
Next one. This is I think my favorite like flavor that I've so far seen in this set is like man and beast coming together. So fight is 1. It's a plain instant. Choose 1 or both. Target human creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. And target non-human creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. I think this card kind of sucks. I'm not in love with it. The trick's pretty weak.
Exactly.
It probably doesn't always hit both. Even if it does hit both, it's just, I don't know. I'm not like super interested in this card. I gave it a dumpy.
Yeah, I gave it a dopey, but I think that's too high. I'd give it dope. Like compared to like Karametra, I think Karametra's Blessing is better, and I didn't love it.
Yeah.
2, yeah. No, I
Dumpy?
don't like it at all. Full dump.
All right, read it out, my friend.
Flourishing Fox. This is my fucking jam, right here.
Yeah.
1 for a 1/1, cycling 1. Already, I'm playing that card. But really, this is if it was a common, I think it would fucking go off. Like I think it would be that would be the deck. At an uncommon, it's probably going to be a little harder to get to in draft, but I'm curious if there's other stuff. But its big thing is whenever you cycle another card, put a +1/+1 counter on Flourishing Fox. So a 1-drop with cycling is already great. 1/1s on turn 1 aren't excellent. They're not. I don't think they're terrible. They're the real reason I like lots of limited decks don't see more than 1 or 2 1-drops is because later in the game they're useless. Not that on turn 1 they're bad. So the fact that I think it's really good on turn 1 in a deck with a couple cycles, and then free cycling later in the game. I love it.
Yeah.
Dandy.
Wow. I guess this Fox it can be mutated, and it keeps those counters if it's mutated, which is cool. I just one mana. I just the 1 mana 1/1. Like it's cool that it gets upgraded from countering, but like if you drop a 1 mana 1/1, you don't want to cycle turn 2 just to beef your 1/1.
No, definitely not.
So I don't know if I'm sold on like cards that get buffed from cycling as like that being a good ability.
So it's not aggro. Cycling is too slow to work well in aggro. It's very much like it just like if it sits there, it grows. Like it took no investment from you.
Except for a card, it's a full card.
Not if you cycle it, like you. So I definitely.
If you have this card turn 1, like what percentage of the time are you cycling it versus playing it?
You're always playing it turn 1.
Really?
I mean, depending on the rest of your hand, like if you need a land or something, it actually is good for that. Cycling 1 is just so strong to me. Admittedly, I don't know how strong the cycling deck is going to be, but like a white something control deck with lots of like benefits from cycling is probably really good. White blue probably. Control deck with lots of like with benefits from cycling looks really good to me.
All right, we'll see. So you have this at Dandy. I had it at Dopey.
I think it depends on if the archetype works.
Yeah. I'm going to give you final say on this one.
Give it a Dandy. We can be wrong. Who gives a shit?
Well, I mean, history will say.
History will show. That's my point.
History will show.
That's my point. Garrison Cat.
This Garrison Cat.
When Garrison Cat dies, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. It's 1 white for a 1/1. So that's 1 white mana for 2 2s worth of stats. But not in a good way, I would argue.
I think so also. I think also, I mean, just like putting it up against Flourishing Fox, it's significantly worse.
Correct.
And given that there's so much cycling in this set, it feels bad playing a cheap card that doesn't really have a big gimmick.
Right.
Especially because the token that it leaves behind isn't even a creature, or isn't even a non-human creature.
Well, I think there's both. Like you need there's lots of stuff that interacts with humans, and there's lots of stuff that interacts with non-humans, and there's stuff that benefits from if you control a non-human and a human.
But I guess more of what I'm trying to say is like, it seems like the way that you get value from cheap cards in this set, or the way that you avoid them just being completely dead draws later in the game, is through mutation or cycling.
Exactly.
So this has mutation going for it, kind of.
No, it doesn't.
Well, it's a cat, so it's non-human, so you could mutate it. But if it dies, then it doesn't have mutate going for it.
Right.
Yeah, this card I think is dumpy. I put a dumpy down for it.
I had dopey, but I like dumpy. Yeah, I like dumpy actually. One drop, like
Yeah,
it has no impact on the game.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Okay, cool. We don't like Garrison Cat.
Sacrifice going, I would like it, but in white, I'm suspicious of that. Maybe
yeah,
white.
We're not. Yeah, we're not seeing it so far.
Yeah, it's a white.
Yeah, we're not seeing it. Yeah, maybe we should have reviewed the entire set together, but whatever.
Yeah, you do what you can.
Yeah. Helica Glider. So this is 2 in a plane. Helica Glider enters the battlefield with your choice of flying counter or first strike counter on it. What do you think?
Also, it's a 2/2.
Thank you.
I think flexibility is cool. It doesn't make up for it being understated. I really like first strike. Like honestly, first strike and flying are both really strong.
Yes.
But 3 for honestly 3 for a 2/2 flying is okay, and 3 for a 2/2 first strike is situationally really good, like on defense. But I still think it's dopey. Maybe better because of the flexibility.
I had dopey minus, although I kind of would put a question mark next to it when I was like reviewing it. There's so many things that matter. Whether you're building like a mutate deck, like this card is great in a mutate deck.
Yep.
It gives you the ability you want. It's fine by itself. Like I don't mind running it.
You aren't. Yeah, I would be surprised if you were pissed that it made it in your deck. I like dopey minus.
Dopey minus is what I put. All right. The Liger. The Huntmaster Liger. I think I love this card.
Have you watched Tiger King?
No.
Have you watched Liger King?
I have, actually. I like that.
Well.
He's in jail, by the way, also.
The Liger King? What's he in jail for?
Same thing Tiger King, but just with Ligers.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's not very interesting.
Yeah, but you gotta ask. You gotta try. Like maybe you had something.
Okay, this is a 3 in a planes with mutate for 2 in a plane for a 3/4 cat. Whenever this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. Okay. Mutate ability, pretty weak. I'm not super interested in this mutate ability. The 3-mana mutate, though, is really cheap.
Yeah. So playing a 3/4 with a little bit of a bonus for 3 mana is good.
But it's like a 3/4 sacrifice a creature.
Yeah.
Like that's how you would have to think. It's a part of the cost is you lose a creature.
Yeah, but you don't lose its abilities. It's interesting.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty decent mutate card. Nothing I'm like crazy about. Maybe like a dopey plus.
That's where I was with it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's leave it at that because I don't think there's a ton to say about this.
Cool. Imposing
Mantisaur. Go ahead and read it.
We should just switch off or something.
I'm in charge, and I'll dictate who reads.
Okay. Whatever. 5 in white for a 3/6 vigilance. Mediocre. I don't hate it. Cycling one colorless. All of a sudden, I love this card. I think it's still pretty bad. But I don't like. It's cycling one is so good.
It just feels like you're potentially falling in a trap where it's just like where like a card that has cycling that you just like 90% of the time just want to cycle, or like that you're constantly thinking like, is it just better to cycle this card than to fucking play it? Like,
so here's the thing. In constructed, absolutely. But like, I think Traveler's Amulet is a good card in maybe not a monocolored deck, kind of in a monocolored deck. Like, honestly, so in draft, you have 2 or 3 cards that are significantly better than the rest of your cards generally. Like, you often have a couple cards you focus your deck around, and you're trying to get to those cards every game. It's a little different in like aggro, where you're just trying to curve out and like in like the front of the game most of the time. But most like lots of decks really are just trying to find their card that the other person can't answer. And cycling one lets you get there. Like if 10 of your cards have cycling for one colorless, you just find the thing you're looking for every game.
That's a strong point. It's a strong point. I mean, it's a very interesting point. You know?
It's all I got. Like I don't know. We haven't had that backed up by the experts. So it's the reason why I'm curious about it, because you're right. Like cycling a card is bad. Like you don't want to just cycle a card. But also it lets you play less lands. Like it's so cool. I think there's interesting stuff with it.
Okay, I will. So what do you have this at then?
I gave it a dopey. Like
you gave it a dopey. I gave it dumpy plus. So I'm fine to move up with dopey.
Cool.
That's a very long-winded speech. Just call it dope.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, look at this dumb asshole. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
his face. Like, what's going on? Does he just like not have a face?
Boo.
Like, what's wrong with his face?
Boo. Well, he's imposing.
But like,
Boo.
There's no face there. Like, where are his eyes?
I like the zoomed in. Zoomed in's better. Right. Your turn.
Okay. Next we have the Keen Sight Mentor. So I think it seems like each color has a mentor, which is a human teaching an animal how to do something.
Yep.
So this is 2 in a plains for a 1/4. When Keen Sight Mentor enters the battlefield, put a vigilance counter on target non-human creature you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with vigilance. This one's kind of had me twisted. It's very unclear to me if this is a good card or not. It has an ability that can easily not hit. Both of its abilities could easily not hit.
Yes.
And its stats aren't good.
Yes. I suspect.
So it seems like it's bad.
I suspect that this one's terrible. There's a little bit of support for like, and I mean a tiny bit of like the high alert type, like low power, high toughness vigilance creatures, and they're even like
there's like that one instant.
Yeah, that like makes it deal damage with its toughness, but I think it's not enough.
No.
And I think this is really bad. I've only looked at white and blue mentors. My guess is maybe the worst mentor is this one, and blue is probably the best mentor.
Blue is flying. Blue teaches flying.
Yeah.
Red teaches menace. Black teaches death touch.
And green's definitely trample. Did you look at the other ones? Is red?
No, those are just guesses. They're just guesses. They're just like really smart guesses.
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, the smartest move of all is to not guess. But I would say though, for like, yeah, I agree with you.
Cool.
I had this at No, I'm changing my answer. That's not the case. It was the first mentor I saw. I was excited. I gave it a dandy. This is a dumpy plus.
Whoa.
This is a
I had
dumpy
a
plus.
wow. Okay. I had a dopey, but I think I like dumpy plus also. All right, your go.
All right,
Whoa.
Lava Brink Venturer. So, this is 3 for a 3/3, 2 and a white for a 3/3. Still super splashable. Also, notably, almost everything we've seen has been one colored mana
Yeah.
symbol, because there's lots of. I think they're really trying to make it possible to do 3 colors, which is very fun. Anyway, 2 and a white for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, choose odd or even. Lava Brink Venturer has protection from each converted mana cost of the chosen value. So you either get protection from odd or protection from even converted mana cost. I think this guy's kind of busted. It's going to depend on how good aggro is. I think this is a super aggro card, because it basically reads 3 for a 3/3, kind of unblockable, not quite, but you can, depending on what your board looks like and everything, you can kind of turn this into, like, I think that's not crazy, to
Yeah,
get.
honestly, I think it fits in almost any deck that's running white.
Yeah,
I wouldn't choose it high, but it's just like it kind of does everything.
I would choose it high because it kind of does everything.
Sure.
Where'd you put it?
It's not a bomb. I gave it dirty.
I gave dirty plus.
I can get behind dirty plus. I mean, this is
It's the best card we've seen.
I think it's the best card we've seen. I don't know. Maybe removal's better than it. It's good. It's really good.
I mean, it has right. Divine Arrow is the other one that I would say is arguably great. This is probably better than Divine Arrow.
I mean, it's more scarce, if anything. I'm fine with dirty. I think it's really just dirty.
Me too.
It doesn't win a game by like it's not like when your opponent plays it, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I think there are decks where it kind of is bust, but I don't think it's a free win or anything.
Build around dirty plus.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Is dirty right under Daffy?
Let me consider.
No. There's still Daddy. There's still Daddy before Daffy.
Dirty. Oh, this guy's a dirty plus.
Yeah, this guy's a dirty plus.
Daddy is like is like a bomb. Daddy's a bomb. Daffy is you take no matter what.
Yeah, I would say Daddy is like Shatter the Sky or Eat to Extinction, or like
where you're just
Breaker Lamia, just for Rika spawn maybe. Like really strong, but not the strongest card in the set.
Yeah. All right, I get this beautiful woman, Light of Hope, planes an instant, choose one, gain 4 life, destroy target enchantment, or put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. I give this one a dumpy. I don't like this card at all.
Yeah.
So far, I haven't seen any good enchantments that would be worth running this card for, and the other 2 abilities suck.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that not only is this a dumpy, this is the worst card we've looked at so far.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe
this card sucks.
Like maybe it's just unplayable. Maybe it's full Dinky.
Oh yeah, we can give this Dinky.
It's so bad.
Yeah, I hate this card. And the enchantments in this set, like if my opponent, so far for what we've seen in white blue, if my opponent plays an enchantment, it's like a breath of, it's like you can breathe. It's like, okay, they just played a shitty card. They just wasted their turn on a shitty card.
Yeah.
And like the last thing you want to do is spend a card on destroying that shitty card they just played. All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
We got our first little Dinky.
Card. We hate Light of Hope. All right. No.
All right. Okay. So, oh, yours are in, what the fuck? Okay. All right. So, Luminous Broodmoth. 2 white for a 3/4 flying. Already super playable.
Yeah.
So again, one of the first cards we've seen with double white in its cost. Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. I think this might be Daffy. Like, your shit don't die. It kind of reminds me of Nightmare Shepherd, but it's better. I mean, I guess like 4 for a 4/4 flying is fucked in a way that 4 for a 3/4 flying isn't quite. But this is your stuff doesn't die. It doesn't come back as a baby. It comes back supercharged.
Yeah, and it's not a token. It's the real thing.
It's the real thing. If you have any way to remove counters from your creatures, they just don't die. If you can take flying away from them. Notably, like the only thing is don't play it in a flying deck.
Yeah.
But
honestly, play it in a flying deck.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not as effective. Like it's less high of a pick, but yeah. I mean, this card's sick. This is, I think, Mothra. This is in the like Godzilla thing. Yeah, this card's fucking sick. We love this. It doesn't feel quite like a Daffy.
It does to me.
I gave it Daddy.
I think it could. I think it could be one of the best cards in the set. Like, I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was top 10.
I could give it top 10, but is Daffy top 10?
I think so. I mean, not necessarily, but I think Daffy could safely be top 10.
We'll give it a Daffy just because we have, we can give it Daffy.
Yeah, we're the Dinky Daffy Boys. That's the name of the show that we're making. We found a Dinky, now we have a Daffy. We can go home.
All right. Now next we have the Majestic Auricorn, 4 and a white. Mutate for 3 and a white. Vigilance, whenever this creature mutates, you gain 4 life. Yeah, I think this card's kind of dumpy. There's just not a lot going on here. I guess Mutate is like a good ability in and of itself, maybe.
Yeah.
But I just like the mana. Nothing. I guess 4 for a 4/4 is okay.
With Vigilance.
So maybe it's Maybe it's more of a dope.
I
don't feel excited about this card.
I had it at dopey. My thought was 4 for a 4/4 Vigilance, gain 4 life when it enters the battlefield, lose a creature, keep its abilities. Is very playable. Like that's.
Yeah, I think Dopey's right. I think I just got like, I got disappointed. Like this card, it feels kind of bad to play this card for 5 mana.
5 for a 4/4 Vigilance is not bad. Like, it's an annoying card to start in your hand. But I don't like. It's solid late game. Like it's just it's big enough.
Yeah, and I think Mutate is strong enough that like I think it's a good ability.
Okay. Yeah,
I think it's
super
really
possible.
Card.
Right.
Like if you can play this on some like flying creature or something like that, like it all of a sudden becomes really good.
Yeah.
Like turn 4, you have a 4/4 flying with Vigilance swinging.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So I don't know, maybe Dopey Plus. What do we think?
I like Dopey.
I turn the corner on this class.
I like Dopey Plus. I don't think we're gonna get like. I don't think history will show where some kind of monster for putting that. All right, Mange Serval is a cat. 2 for a 1/4 Vigilance. Who cares? Dopey minus. I think.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's the right stats for the cost. It's a control card. I think it's kind of a good size and cost for like what you want in a control-y deck, but I don't know. Not excited about it.
Yeah, good mutate target. It stays alive and it has an ability.
Yep.
So eventually it just becomes useless. Like I don't know, 1/4 potentially just becomes useless by the end of the game. But it turns into something that you can give Vigilance to one of your bigger creatures.
4 toughness is usually relevant. Don't know the set yet, but like even later in the game, that usually does something.
Sure. That's a good point. What do we land on this? Dopey minus?
Yeah, I like Dopey minus.
All right, next up, the mythos of Snap Dax. 2 for 2 whites, 2 and 2 whites. Each player chooses an artifact, creature, and enchantment, and a planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control and sacrifices the rest. If red-black was spent to cast the spell, you choose the permanents for each player instead. This card sucks in limited.
Really?
I think it's pretty bad.
So I think each player chooses a creature they control and sacrifices the rest is pretty strong and limited.
Okay.
Board clear, even messy board clear, I think.
It's not a board clear.
I know. They keep their thing. I think
and in fact, yeah, and it's most of the, so they keep one creature. I think you're right to ignore the artifact, enchantment, planeswalker, because most limited decks aren't going to be playing more than one of each of those, or have one of each of those out at a time.
Yeah.
But again, you noted most of the cards don't have a double color in their mana cost. So it's a little harder to play than the average card in mono white. And it doesn't, and sorcery speed, there's a lot working against this card.
I'm just never gonna. So first of all, if you are 3 color and you pay it, I think it's daddy if you hit the colors. So if build around, I have it as a daddy. But if you're not building around it, like if you're just throwing this in any deck, I still think it's very solid.
It doesn't get there for me, and this is actually really intense, and maybe I'm wrong, but I have this as a dinky.
No way, actually.
I think that's very wrong, but
you think it's dinky even if you're trying to build that 3 color deck?
It's not a high pick for me. Like if this spell needs to be black, red, white in order to be a great card, that makes it a lot worse for me.
Sure. I have it as a dandy.
I mean, I'll be willing to concede dandy.
I think you should just put what both of us say. I don't think.
Well, I have what I have on here.
Okay. I think it's important to include your shame on this because I think history will show on this one.
I think Dinky is definitely wrong, but I'm feeling a little less excited about this card. Okay. I'm not feeling very excited about this card at all. Hey.
You know it. You love it. It's pacifism. 1 and a white, enchanted creature can't stack or block. Quintessential white removal. I think it's really good. I think it's a dandy.
Dandy. I had dirty. Dirty's higher than dandy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is premium removal.
It's premium. I got no issue seeing it be bumped up to dirty. Honestly, that's probably right.
Yeah, people know it. People love it. It's going to be taken. It's going to be scarce. And it's going to fuck you up probably. Next we have Patagia Tiger. This is 4 and a plane.
Vaginia.
Vaginia Tiger for a cat creature. 3/4 flying. When it enters the battlefield, target human you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So its stats are okay.
Agreed.
its ability is like nothing. I would expect that ability to almost always do nothing. Maybe you can push some damage. I don't know. I'm not excited about this card. I gave it a dopey.
I gave it a dopey. I like it at flat dope.
Yeah, it's a dope.
Perimeter Sergeant. All right, so this guy's got a man on a mission. 2 and a white for 3/2. When it attacks, other humans you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. It's possible this is the aggro deck, like white-red aggro humans.
Sure.
He sucks. This guy's fucking sucks ass.
Yeah, he does suck.
I would be amazed if it was anything higher than a dopey minus. That's why I put it.
Yeah, I give it dopey minus. I put down dopey, but it's very easy for me to move down from there.
Yeah, I put down dopey, but looking at this dumb asshole makes me want to puke my fucking guts out.
Very fair. All right, next we have the Sanctuary Lockdown, a card we're all very familiar with. The feels in this guy's eye we can relate to.
Yeah.
So this is 3 mana. Humans you control get +1/+1. Tap 2 untapped humans you control to tap target creature and opponent controls. So this card's odd. It's sort of like what you were talking about before. Maybe there's this aggro humans archetype. Doesn't quite work as an aggro card for me.
No.
It's not what you want to play turn 3. The second ability is not what you want to be doing with your creatures in an aggro deck. It's much more control-y. I don't like this card at all. I gave it a dumpy minus.
Okay. So I think you're right, but I swung on this one. This was my boldest prediction of the whole of any card we looked at, and my very, very bold prediction was that it's going to be a build around dirty. That I'm straight up wrong. Like reading the card again is incorrect. But the repeatable cheap tap them down, I think might just I think it might just shut down some decks. I think some decks might not have an answer to this.
It's honestly, it's kind of hard to activate. We haven't seen any like human creature token generation, like
1 or 2.
But cards that we hated.
Right, except in this deck. I've got this is my boldest prediction is that building around it works. It's specifically that if you go for the Sanctuary Lockdown deck, then my crazy prediction is that deck exists, is that there is a Sanctuary Lockdown deck.
I will enjoy arguing against that when we draft together.
Yep.
So I have this a dumpy minus. What do you want to put?
Dumpy
minus, build around 30.
Well, dumpy minus, and then just an asterisk for Jordan's brave choice.
Okay.
I actually think more of these should be considered Jordan's brave choice.
That's fair, and you're allowed to think that.
All right.
Here's our favorite.
Savai Sabertooth, 1 and a white, 3/1 cat. Dumpy plus.
Yeah, it's a dump. It's the 3/1 cat.
Snooze.
Do you think it's dumpy plus?
Yeah, I think some decks are fine playing it. Most aren't. Solid dumpy. Solid, honestly, ass dump. Full dump.
Solid dumpy. It's not even like a great creature you want to mutate. Like, it's not good for mutation.
No.
I think it's a little lower than like the 2 mana 3/1 normally is, just because you kind of want your 2 mana creature, like non-human creature, to stick around.
Yeah, I would prefer this was a 2/2 or a 1/3. I would prefer it was like a 1/2 with an ability. I just don't want this dumbass dump truck of a fucking
dump truck.
Garbage can.
All right, next up is Snare Tactician. Whenever you cycle a card, tap target creature and opponent controls. I know someone who's happy about this one.
Uh-huh.
Not gonna lie, I mean, I gave this guy a dopey for some reason. I don't know what happened. I don't think I'm willing to go that much higher. His ability is kind of nothing.
Yeah, so again, I have a dandy. Definitely
Whoa!
not in most decks. But specifically the blue-white control deck that is cycling and has some bomb, like some just like fucking undeniable threat. Like this is a good part of that control deck because you're finding your card with your cycling with your draw, and then this is just icing for tapping them down.
Wouldn't you just rather play a card with cycling? Like,
Yeah, I don't turning your cards into one mana, like one colorless mana for tap target creature, draw a card. That's really strong.
so what did you have this as?
Dandy. Dopey plus. I'm fine with Dopey plus.
We're gonna land on Dopey Plus because I, for some reason, put down Dopey. But I'm not convinced that this is that strong.
It's 3 for a 2/3. It's fine. Like
It's fine. It's fine.
worst case is fine. Fuck you. Solid footing. 1 white, flash, enchant creature, aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. As long as enchanted creature has vigilance, it assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. I think this sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like the ability isn't the worst thing in the world, but you just can't build your deck with that like in mind. I don't think it gets there. I have this Dumpy.
Dumpy as well. We can point out her penis measure.
Oh yeah.
Penis measure as well.
Important to witness.
Okay, next up is Splendor Mare. This is a 3-mana lifelink 3/3 cycling. When you cycle it, put a lifelink counter on target creature you control. This card's fire. This is a great card.
Hell yeah.
The ability to get something out of your cycle is pretty cool. I guess the only thing I would point out that's kind of bad is that the cycle does cost a plains.
Yeah.
So if you can afford the mare, you most likely, or if you can't afford the mare, you most likely can't cycle it either.
Right.
But yeah, no, this is a great card. It's just a good card. I give it a dandy.
I only had Dopey plus because the more expensive cycling makes me like it less. If the card just was 1 and a white for instant speed, give a creature lifelink, draw a card, I think that would be bad. The creature's good. It's great mutate target. I don't know. I like Dandy. I mean,
I could go down dandy minus.
Yeah, that seems right.
I'm not insanely excited to play this, but it seems like a nice solid 3-drop.
Yeah. Spontaneous Flight, 2 and a white. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Put a flying counter on it. I gave this a dopey. I think it's a better version of lots of very, very similar cards printed over the years, which is like Angelic, whatever, anything that like gives temporary flying. Usually pretty mediocre cards, even with the bonus. Permanent flying is good. You got the combat trait. I don't know. Maybe this card's good. It's a strong. It's a mediocre trick that like continues with a mediocre, decent ability.
Yeah, I like it. It's a little expensive, but I'm fine with dopey. Is that what you gave it? Yeah, I can definitely give this a dopey.
I wonder if that should be higher.
You
I
want to give
just
it a Dopey?
so like most combat tricks, like I think +2/+2 is enough to do like some cool trait, like some like you win combat because of the +2/+2 at instant speed.
Mm-hmm.
So if
It's
this
very
card,
expensive.
yeah,
Good luck.
I don't care about the cost. I don't know why.
Well, it's just it's hard to leave that open, I guess. Like,
Yeah, really hard to play on your turn 3 on your opponent's turn. Though with cycling cards in your hand, it's not as bad. Yeah,
I think it's a good card. I get to Dopey plus.
I like Dopey Plus.
All right, next up. Oh, this one is weird. So this is the Stormwild Caprador. 3 mana, 1/3 flying. A bird goat. If non-combat damage would be dealt to Stormwild Caprador, prevent that damage. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each damage prevented this way. So it's basically a flying creature that you can't burn. Its stats aren't good. It's a good mutate target. It has a really good mutate ability.
Yeah.
You could also beef it with burn spells if you had them, which I guess is kind of cool, but it's not much.
It's hard to say. So the like blue, white, red decks are like non-combat damagey. If you just have like extra damage floating around, or like board clear stuff, like deal 2 damage to all creatures, deal 4 damage to all creatures, like this card's busted with those.
Yeah, if you have something that's like tap, deal 1 damage to target creature, that's pretty cool.
Or like a meteor that deals 13 damage to target creature. That's all very cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it quite works in limited.
No.
Would be interesting to see. I give this a Dopey plus. It's a speculative Dopey plus.
I give it a Dopey.
I think it's definitely more of a Dopey.
Yeah.
Probably most of the time it just doesn't get there. But it still has okay stats.
Swallow Whole. 1 white mana. As an additional cost to cast the spell, tap an untapped creature you control, exile target tapped creature, put a +1/+1 counter on the creature tapped to pay the spell's additional cost. I think this is good.
It's a good card.
So I gave it Daddy.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think, well, I love that it's exiling. I think its additional cost is not a downside. Like the additional cost with the counter pretty much evens out. There are situations where you can't use it, but I think they're pretty uncommon. It's free. Like the spell's so cheap.
Yeah.
Exiling target creature for 1 mana is enough to get me up to Daddy.
I guess the things that feel bad is like you probably have to take the hit from it when it's swinging.
Yeah.
Because you have to leave a creature untapped. Sorcery speed. It's good. I had it at Dandy. Probably Daddy or Daddy minus feel better though.
I'm okay with Dirty's in between.
Oh, right. I think this is a dirty card.
Me too. The tapped creature part is weaker. It's not flexible. I think it's super strong but not super flexible, and I think solid dirty works for me.
Cool.
Was there
here?
What did we give? What did we give pacifism?
Dirty.
I think this is better than pacifism. like I think this is better than passive.
Yeah, you're right. 30 plus.
Okay.
Okay, next up is Valiant Rescuer. 2 mana, 3/1, human. Whenever you cycle another card for the first time each turn, create a human soldier creature token. Cycles for 2. Jordan loves this card. I think it's dopey.
So here's the thing.
Well, dopey's good.
This literally is the card that goes with Sanctuary Lockdown. It's the white cycle control deck, and I think that deck exists. Like
they're both uncommons. I will point out they're both uncommons. The odds of getting both are pretty low.
That deck, yeah, it doesn't. It's not gonna. That's why it's such a brave choice. And but I think I think it's not gonna work.
This guy's dopey with a brave. What's the brave
Jordan's brave
it?
choice. Jordan's brave choice. Or
what rating do you give it as a brave choice?
Dandy.
Dopey and a brave dandy. All right. And finally,
Ulpakit. 3 and a white. Scroll down a little more. 3 and a white for a 2/3 flying. Decent. Whenever this creature mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on it. I love it. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want the mutate ability to be.
Yes.
I love that. Honestly, it's the ideal mutate creature because it has evasion and exactly the right kind of mutate power. Also, mutate is only 2 and a white instead of the 3 and a white. That's better. I just think, and it's common. I think it's the backbone of the white mutate. Deck.
Yeah, it's a staple. This is staples. Yeah, we got that. Mutate card.
Yep.
I agree with everything you said. It's exactly what I thought when I saw it. Yeah, I like this card. I gave it a dandy.
Dandy.
It's a dandy. All right, that's the end of white.
We want to.
No, we have one more. The Will of the All Hunter. It's 1 and a white. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's blocking, instead you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Cycling. I like this card also. It's a strong combat trick. Cycling if you don't need it, I guess. I had it at dandy minus, but maybe it's a dumpy plus.
I had it. I like dandy minus.
You like dandy minus?
The flexibility is cool. It's really cheap. Like putting 2 +1/+1 counters doesn't cost 2. It loses some flexibility. Like it's got to be blocking, and that's the justification. But the cycling makes up for it. I think it's kind of undercosted for all the stuff it can do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Dandy. I like dandy minus also then. Cool. All right. So that's the end of white. We are going to take a break and pause the recording.